Benderforce.com.
Hello. Welcome, rock stars. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. Let's get to this. Boy, what a rabbit hole dug into this one. What really originally got me into this was I watched Pewdiepie's Tanacon video a while back and made a review. And because of the theme and the topic, and then I saw this video, so I had to start to do a little digging and investigating on this because of the word sociopath. So I had to look it up. Not the definition. I know what the definition of the word is. Actually, it's right on the screen. It's the beginning of Pewdiepie's video right here. I'll read it. Sociopath, a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitude and behavior. That's the dictionary definition. I'm going to break it down. A person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior. Okay, personality disorder means of the person, the expression of the person. Manifesting meaning it presents itself in a way that's external. Extreme antisocial attitudes. Antisocial, we're referring to not wanting to be around other people, closing one off from others, performing things or doing things in public with people that gets them away from people, like if they're in a crowded room, getting away from people because they feel anxiety, etc. And behaviors is how you respond to such stimulus. If you suddenly wind up in Times Square, New York City, what do? If you're suddenly confronted by 5 people asking you questions, or you're a famous YouTuber getting pinged left and right by people asking you, filming you, doing stuff and you're not ready for it, how do you react to that? Is this negative? Is this positive? It's a neutral definition. I want to start off saying that this definition is a neutral definition. I'm getting this right off the bat because with all the things I've been looking at, including some empathy and therapists and all this stuff, it's a dangerous situation, especially for YouTube and online personalities, to go into sociopath, psychopath, the definition, but the misuse of the word a lot of times. And it's very dangerous because anybody that's watching these can say, "Oh, I must be one of the above," and especially if someone's off-cuff conversation about something. If you have an issue with socializing with other people, it may not necessarily need a therapist. I'm not giving any therapeutic advice. If you're having an issue and you need specific psychological or therapeutic advice, go see a licensed therapist, not on camera, or a psychologist, not on camera, and talk one-on-one. And I'll give you a reason why I don't want this to be on camera for people. There's actually some very good reasons, and I'll get into some of this because it's involved. I didn't realize how involved this is. So if you're seeking help, if you want to talk to people, you can talk to people. And I'm not mentioning talking to people in the sense of verbal one face-to-face, because as the definition, extreme antisocial attitudes and behaviors, you may not want to talk to someone. Circling back to that, I've joined for the Pokemon Go community, and I know some of you may be watching this may not necessarily know much about this. There's a particular Pokemon Go YouTuber named Mystic7 who recently created a Discord for self-care, for people who want to talk about their issues and reach out to other people and help. And he even posted in a video saying this is not a place if you need psychological assistance or therapeutic assistance, that this is not specifically licensed for that, and that you need to actually see a therapist. And I'll say the same thing. If you're having a particular issue that you really need something done, don't run to a Discord, see a doctor. That being said, if you're just having a bad day, or you're wanting to talk about particular anxiety, or just something that you want to share, there is therapy in being able to share, and Discord allows you to not have to do a face-to-face. Like right now, I'm talking to you, but I don't see you. Now, if I was talking to you in person, that'd be a different story. I would react differently to you than just talking to a camera. But I don't really see that much of a distinction, because when I look at a camera, I kind of just imagine all these faces kind of like just watching. An actor trick, kind of. Anyways. And there's a good venue for talking on Discord, talking on YouTube, just making a video, just put it out there. Hey, I'm having a bad day. I'll name some top things I always hear without actually getting into specifics. I just recently had a breakup. I have a public speech that I have to do tomorrow, and I'm feeling anxious about getting in front of a lot of people. I'm going for an interview. Help, I need help. My friends aren't talking to me. I think everyone hates me. What do I do? I mean, things like this. I'm not getting to any diagnosis of issues. That's between you and your therapist and people I talk to and all that. The reason why I'm going on and on about this is because I feel there's a dangerous precedent going on with YouTube right now, because it was trending, it's big, it's hot, and a lot of people are watching these things. Now, I will say this, and there's going to be a disclaimer. Anyone that's on YouTube is doing it for entertainment purposes. And now some would say, I'm doing it for educational purposes, some are doing it for introspective DIY, but they're promoting their channel, they're promoting their brand in various ways. Now, some people have legitimate causes, like they actually want to do video therapy, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But remember, they're on YouTube. They're trying to vie for viewers, subscribers, viewer hours. Some are trying to monetize their videos in any way possible. Some are doing it very carefully and constructively. Some are doing it deconstructively. I'm going to call this channel Deconstructing the Narrative of what's going on here, because I'm going to tear it apart. Now, that sounds like a violent word, but I'm actually going to show it piece by piece of what is actually going on here. And with that disclaimer, what I just said, that a lot of people on YouTube are doing this for viewers, for entertainment, just take that in mind whenever you are seeing these videos, and what they're saying in the video and what they're truly saying and what the reality is. And I'm not going to define that reality, because that's for you to decide what you take from this. But I want everyone watching this, if you have an issue, you feel like you are something that people are calling you, just talk to someone. Talk to someone you trust, and talk to a therapist, talk to a psychologist. Also, that being said, I've been seeing an alarming amount of rate of people that are over-medicated. Now, I'm not going to give medical advice either, but I'll just leave that out there, that I've seen a lot of people taking medications that may not necessarily need to. But I'm not diagnosing anything, because I can't, because I'm not talking to a specific person. I'm just giving you what I see. The reason why I'm saying that is I could see a lot of people watching these videos and say, oh, I guess I might be labeled as a sociopath or psychopath, so let me just take these pills and take care of it. I'm not going to give you any advice, but just remember what I said. Okay, now I initially saw the Pewdiepie version talking about this, and it's heavily edited and cut and all that such. So I had to watch Shanedawson's video, at least the one I have up here. Let me just get the title: "The Enemies of Jake Paul." Now, that title in itself is very toxic. Because you're defining a line of friend from foe, enemy to, and it's a very combative. And now, personally, it doesn't matter to me one way or another. I'm not involved in their lives, so they're not involved in my life. So you do you, but just saying that comes off very strong. And I know what type of content you do, and I know that a lot of it is dramatization. So you're doing that for that dramatic effect. I get that. That's a YouTube thing. That being said, when we're doing with terms like sociopath and psychopath, there's a responsibility that is involved in any of these videos being produced that you have to be careful. That's all I'm going to say. The therapist in question that Shane is referring to is a person named Katie Morton, who also does YouTube therapy. She does a more educational videos on various therapeutic advice. But remember what I said, she is on YouTube. Licensed therapist. I'm not going to argue one way or the other. I mean, that's on her. You know, what she does is what she does. But she's on YouTube. And specifically, she went on Shane's channel to do this interview. And I'll get back to that in a second. And I came across another video, Hyeoni, Hyeonni, who refers to herself as an empath, reflecting on this as well. Very, very introspective analysis of this. I kind of liked some of it, but some of it was a little dramatized as well for YouTube. I don't do that. I do dramatization for other things, but not for these serious topics. I may have an intro and outro that's a little bit dramatic, but not with the actual content. I'm not going to have crazy music in the background as you can hear. I may have something soft and soothing, but nothing like dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun kind of thing, or boom, flashy, you know, all these crazy lights and reds in the eyes and shaking video. Like, I'll do that for other things, but not when it comes to something about this. That's them, and that's me doing other things. Okay, as I said, there's a big rabbit hole on this, and it seems to be getting deeper and deeper. Okay, which originally this is a Shane Dawson doing an interview about Jake Paul. Specifically, I think doing an interview about Jake Paul because of the recent controversies with Logan and the you know, I won't mention the previous things. You all know what happened before, but I think it's trying to capitalize / investigate what's been going on with them lately and having them being put in the limelight, which it is working. The publicity is palpable with what's going on here, including Shane and Jake and Logan and Pewdiepie and everyone else is talking about this. Now, am I getting a benefit from it? Well, you know my previous video on saying this. I'm not going to repeat myself, but I'll just leave it as that. Is this video important? Yes. I wrote a lot of notes because there's a lot. Shane's one of his dark side videos is about 50 minutes long, so I had to take notes. And Shane interviewed Nick Crompton about a one-on-one about this before interviewing. It's up to you if you want to watch it. It's a whole other. But I had to watch to see what it is they're trying to get at. And one of the things I got out of is Nick mentioned that he never talked about others for publicity. I'll leave it at that. And that, you know, he's very careful about his privacy. But I did notice that the film is over dramatized with the way it was produced and edited. He's a content creator on YouTube. That's to be expected. Kind of drawing or pushing the envelope a little bit with dealing with the title Sociopath, because with anything, and this gets back to what Katie Morton said about, she in one of her videos, she said that even if you're a sociopath, you're still responsible for your actions. Think about that phrase. A licensed therapist says you are responsible for your actions even if you're a sociopath. And I'm not saying anyone is or isn't, but then she goes on being on Shane's channel saying things are gross and creepy, which even if he wasn't going to an actual clinical session, that's kind of a not a professional terminology, knowing that she's being filmed and knowing that people are going to look at her as a licensed therapist and then going on there and saying, oh, that's creepy and gross. She could have used much more professional words, and it makes her look not like it just. when you see something that you're supposed to rely on trust to be able to share things with, saying things that are creepy and gross. For me personally, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, I won't want to talk to you because you're going to just downplay this until it's just simple terminology for dramatization. So I don't really feel like I can approach you anymore on this. And I think a lot of people are seeing this. Now, I'm not going to call you names, and that's uncalled for too. If you saying all these things about her, as she said, it's going to close off all dialogue that she's going to have with you, because either she's going to write you off the log. You're just a person just saying that just for hate or whatnot. I'm not going to say that. You're completely neutral to me, so I have absolutely no idea. But when you say something that's creepy and gross on Shane's channel, you're reflecting back the dramatization of Shane's channel. And you're trying to defend yourself a little bit on this, which I can understand. But there's one question that you need to answer. Obviously, you researched Shane's channel if you were going to go on it. If you didn't, that's on you. But if you did, then why did you go on it? Why didn't you agree ahead of time with Shane? Says, okay, I want to film this, but I want to film this seriously, and I want this to be more of a clinical approach. Even if we're just doing an off-the-cuff conversation about me talking about Sociopath, why don't I film this on my channel because I'm more serious about this, and leave it at that? And then he could have taken your content and then, with agreed upon whatever, dramatize this, don't dramatize this, edit it. You could have done something to prevent a lot of this, because you agreed to go on his channel. He didn't go onto your channel. And now if he went onto your channel and you interviewed him and then suddenly he took it from that and edited, then that's on him. But you agreed to go on this channel, so you agreed by his terms, his channel's terms, his content and all stuff, that it most likely was going to be edited in such a way. So as I mentioned before, we're responsible for our actions, and you being a therapist, you're also responsible for your actions and what you did and did not do, or what you decided to do. Just consider that, and that's probably why there's a lot of flack and blowback from this. It's probably because you kind of jumped into this pool. As you can tell, this was a lot. Then I went into Logan's video, which Pewdiepie, of course, got some of it for his dramatization of Logan Paul saying certain things. And I will admit, I'm not a big fan of the Paul brothers, but at the same time, I'm not a fan. I just know them. That's it. And there were a couple times I chuckled in this video. I watched his latest video, the one that you see. Yeah, whatever. You see it. And what was actually interesting is when I watched it, he actually talked about things that were very important to talk about, reacting to Shane's video. At first, I thought it was just gonna be Logan Paul like, "Yo, what's up? This is bogus. This is all screwed up." Blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't all that, and I kind of got a glimpse of and of course he's doing it for YouTube, and of course he's reacting to get the views, and it got a lot of views. It got the revenue, but it pointed on something that was a little more careful, which I kind of a little bit of respect on that. It takes a lot for me to open trust and respect you. I won't get into it. I almost said something, but I'm not going to get into it. Okay, now I did see that Shane, when he talked to Jake, that he was going to bring the therapist in as a producer, but he was going to tell him afterwards. Now, I don't know if he did afterwards. I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Kind of like say, hey, can we do this kind of thing? And then agree to it or not agree to it, whatever. But I did notice one thing, or actually two things that this circled around, which I think is the fulcrum of this whole thing. And I think there's more reality than this than fakeness. Two people, actually, Greg Paul and Alyssa. Now, I'm not going to get into any of that because what's on camera and off camera are obviously two different things. But I think there's a reality that it's being broached that shouldn't be referring to this, because Greg Paul being their dad, Why is he doing it? I don't know. Maybe he likes the attention. Maybe he likes the money that's coming in, the exposure. You know, he's seeing this like, oh, my kids are doing great here. Let me get on this. Let me start some drama and such. Now, I noticed that when the questions were asked and answered about Alyssa, there were long pauses. And I know that when you're interviewing someone, there's a long pause like that. You're thinking of a million different things and thinking like, how can I say this without exposing too much? But I have to say something because I'm being asked a question. I have to be careful. And I've talked to enough people to know that that's a sore subject all around for this. So, and I noticed that they deflected away once they realized that there's something going on here. And that's an issue. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is with this is getting a lot of exposure because I think a lot of people saw the word sociopath and were curious and are jumping in on this. And I don't want people to start driving around literally and figuratively in these things and trying to figure out, but I'm not going to get into details of what I think or think did or did not happen to me. That's none of my business. But I do believe that a lot of personal stuff has kind of bridged over into the YouTube world, which it is two completely separate worlds. YouTube and reality are completely separate. I don't care what anyone tells you, it is. Even in the interview, they talk about Team 10 being a business and not, and just that right there was a complete like, yes, haha moment. And they didn't want to talk about it because they didn't want to remove the magic of everything that's going on about the stunts being fake. And the majority of people who are watching this are going to think like, yeah, that's fake, but I'm kind of curious to see how far it is or how, there will be some people that are going to think it's real, but as it goes back to the word of responsibility. I'm not going to be responsible for you, so you have to figure out what you have to do with that. Wow. Yeah, so I will go with that, and I'll basically jump between Pewdiepie and Logan's and a little bit of Shane, but I kind of already explained Shane's. I'm not going to, his 50-minute video, I'm not going to have a full on thing with that because it would just eat up too much time, my time. And all I have to say is, Shane, just be careful of the content you put out there, especially when you're dealing with words like sociopath and psychopath, because you don't want someone to suddenly give you a message or a comment saying, I watched your video and I decided to do this because that's what your video told me to do, or because I'm diagnosed this way, self-diagnosis most of the time, that I might as well just go do with this, and then you have to be responsible for this. Because if you're responsible, if someone says that and then they put it on your channel and responsible, you're a lot of legal hassles that, now I don't know you for anything except I know you've been on YouTube for a while, but this is reaching a territory that you have to be careful of, because if you're not, and I did see that disclaimer right here, the video contains discussion of personal disorders. Please do not self-diagnose or diagnose others, and that's important. But you should also make a disclaimer saying that this is for dramatic effect, and that by no means, if you feel like you have any issues, please contact a local psychologist or therapist to talk about your problems. And the reason why I don't want anyone to do these type of conversations, now with Katie doing her vlogs and advice on things, that's fine. But as soon as you get in front of a camera, it's very easy, especially with someone who has a personality disorder or social disorder, to suddenly change into something else. Actors do it all the time. When they're in front of the camera, they're an actor. Whoever the script calls, or whoever the dialogue or the director says you should do. Are you like that off camera? Is your personality the same on camera as off camera? I will say that my personality is a lot more quieter off camera, but it doesn't really differentiate much from on camera and off camera. I'm just more vocal about things, but this is me. I can act. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying I'm a great actor, but I have acted before. I've done things. I'm not going to get into it, but I have acted and I know how to act. Am I acting now? No. I may be vocalizing a little more and putting a little more energy into this because this is an important topic, but I'm not acting. Are these others acting? I personally think they are. It's YouTube. Now, is that wrong? It's YouTube. Is there a responsibility? Yes, but it's YouTube. I don't think anyone who's going to be watching YouTube is going to say, well, I'm going to get psychological advice from this channel. Yes, and I'm going to do everything in my power to live my life based on this one video. But there are people that are like that. There are people that will watch someone very carefully for everything they do. Oh, that guy's nose is twitching. That means he's trying to tell me something. Or he's looking over this way. There must be a ghost. I see a ghost, even though there may not be ghosts. So that means I should go run around naked in the yard. People are going to do what they're going to do, and there's all kinds of people out there. And I remember what I just said. There are all kinds of people out there. Okay, enough of my babble. Let's go on to the videos. Pewdiepie's.
A sociopath.
A sociopath.
Mean, and why is everyone talking about it?
Sociopath is boiled down someone who is
Boiled
just more
down.
savage.
Now,
Thank you for the
okay.
clarification, Logan.
Now, to be fair, just to be completely unbiased, I'll give you what he actually said about this.
You
Okay, I'm going to edit this out because I'm not going to be all about this dramatization, but I'm going to skip ahead to his definition.
amazing content creator. You are changing the game. You are paving the landscape of what could be the future of YouTube.
Thank you for that accolade, Logan Paul. I know you think that way about me, and I know we're bros and like that. Remember what I just said? YouTube. I took that out. I made it look like he said that about me. He said about Shane. But I could easily have taken that little clip and made this whole video of Logan Paul making accolades towards me, saying like I'm the biggest thing on YouTube, you know, paving the way of YouTube. Man, that is great. That's awesome, Logan. I will talk to you later. I'll text you. We can hook up, have burgers. Like, I could make a video like that, but I'm not going to. But see how easy it was? I just grabbed that clip and made it look like it was all about me. Continue on.
Shane knows this.
See, I cut out Shane. Now, is he friends? Who knows?
Cordial with him. We DM'd today. It was romantic.
Show us those actual texts. I am curious to see what that actually is. I mean, and that could be just a bunch of garbage from someone else.
But when I'm watching this series, there's just a few things I thought I was
A few things.
trying
A
to
few
stay out
things.
of
A
it,
few
but
things.
I need to address that.
Why do you need to address this?
Watching this,
Because you need more content.
Impregnable audience. Your young and impenetrable audience. Your young
Now-
and impressionable audience.
To be fair, I've done that too, where I used wrong words and things. I don't know if that was scripted or not, but that was actually clever. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead that stupid jump scare stuff.
But he made a comment in episode 1 that just tickled me the wrong way because I know he's a good dude, and that's why this content works. Because everything he's doing is so genuine and authentic, and you will watch this dude for 45 minutes straight. Who's doing that on YouTube?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for watching all my videos. Again.
No one.
And you got a life too. It's like, hold on.
Yeah, I know I am.
For the record, by the way, Shane also said in episode 2.
Logan, I feel like is more likable.
Thanks, man. I'm going off on a tangent. Anyways, in episode 1, right at the beginning, as he's setting the stage,
All right, let me find that quote. I won't keep you here.
interminable just suspense music, and then the B-roll. The B-roll. Where did you find this B-roll?
I don't know. Again, let me get to that. All right.
Before I say anything, guys, I DM'd Shane about this. I gave him my opinions because it's quite simply, it is not black and white. 99% of the time, someone
That's
is
true.
a sociopath or not a sociopath. My opinion is there's a sociopathic spectrum, at which point some people lie higher on it than others. And by the way,
And that actually fits the definition
a
a little bit better.
Sociopathic, Mark Jobs, Steve Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. A lot of people, especially YouTubers, and Shane touched on this. You can't just say like, you're a sociopath. The word I would like to use is so.
Now, exactly. That's the point. That it's too easy just to title someone. So back to PewDiePie, he obviously took that snippet that little snippet and just kind of made it about, you know,
Sociopathic tendencies. A lot of us, me included, will do some dumb shit, maybe some stuff that lacks empathy. Just more savage than everyone else.
now see, out of all that actual pretty good definition, Pewdiepie went back, and I'll just get back a little bit.
Just more savage.
Thank you for the clarification, Logan. Very cool.
Case in point.
It's just someone a more savage, everyone. Now, this topic is being widely discussed on YouTube thanks to shanedawson's latest video, The Dark Side of Jake Paul. It's got 50 million views, and it was #1 on trending for a while. Now, Shane talks about Sociopath in this series and tries to answer the question, is Jake Paul a sociopath? Now, this video rubbed me the wrong way and a lot of other people, and here is why. To be clear, when Shane announced that he was going to make a video series on Jake Paul, I thought, wow, that's actually really interesting, because Shane usually digs deeper with his topics and he actually interviews people to uncover more information. Like the Tanacon thing, he actually interviewed Tana.
And that's actually what got me into this more. It was like, okay, let's see if this is related.
So yeah, I was really excited about it until he said it was going to be an 8-part series. 8
That right there tells me this is being dramatized to stretch out for YouTube. This is for entertainment. Because 8 parts means 8 times that you're going to get views, multiple subscribers. It's going to get monetization up the wazoo. That's my favorite. One of my favorite words, wazoo. So it's been a month since Shane Dawson came out with a new video on Depressed. 8-part series coming soon. Now, look at Shane's picture on the upper left there. There's one where he looks serious on the right and one he's laughing. He's making fun of himself, almost like he's having a split personality disorder. Now, I'm not inferring that at all that he is or is not, but just that picture has 2 sides, 2 faces. Are you trying to go into this whole psychoanalysis and making that part of your channel? Probably. Is that wise? Probably not. Because I could just see something happening further down the road where it's going to come back and bite him in the butt, and you're like, oh man, what did I do? And he's like, well, you're responsible for this, dude. And like, no, I'm not. I just make videos. Like, well, yeah, but you make videos and someone reacted to your video and did this. You may not be legally responsible, but you're socially responsible. So I'm trying to jump ahead of that. I see that happening. It's not going to be an if, it's going to be a when. Let's move on.
parts. Why? How can you make an 8-part series on Jake Paul? And watching the latest video, you realize it's because it's not about Jake Paul. This video, called The Dark Side of Jake Paul, has hardly anything to do with Jake Paul. It's a 45-minute sit-down with this therapist talking about sociopath and sort of alluding to Jake being one, which is kind of a sociopathic thing to do.
In a way, it might be. Let me just show a little bit of this, just so you know what I'm referring to.
Him having a mini panic attack over the fact that Jake Paul's left him an answer machine message. What is the big deal? I'm shaking. I'm like, what? I mean, you're an overreactor, mate.
Now remember, this just recently came out.
Like, I'm bored of the content. I'm not bored of the series. I almost don't even know how to explain it.
Buckle the fuck up. Because you're never gonna see a video like this again.
Okay, I'm gonna have to edit that out because I'm not gonna be all about that.
What is the big
Okay, obviously there's gonna be dramatic events here. Basically, there's shots of all these different Paul doing shock-worthy content. I'm not gonna advertise that. The dramatic text and the bouncy camera work. It makes it look like it's realistic.
But we have to find a quiet place because Ryan was outside doing a brand deal. Are you still filming? Okay. Well, let's go to the back.
Dun, 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 dun. See that? I mean, can you imagine this video without that soundtrack?
After days, trying to convince him. Uh-oh.
He finally gets Nick Crompton, and they go through this whole big spiel they go into this mansion-like building where it's rented out for influencers, and they didn't mention a name, but they mentioned she and the blah blah. So they probably made a deal, say, hey, can we use this spot for filming? And they probably were like, yeah, sure, as long as you don't destroy it. There's a bunch of models walking around. You don't really see it, but they talk about it. Very dramatic. But the whole point is he talks to Nick, who is part of Team 10, about what he should or should not ask when he interviews Jake Paul. Now, was that necessary to film this? Well, if you're just going to interview someone just to interview something for content and just take the interview, then no. But because it's an 8-part series, he's pulling this out and make it look, it's dramatic. It's a very dramatic thing, and talking about all these different personal things, which is what he's trying to do. Now, some of the stuff that is being recorded, I don't know if it's necessary.
Nick Crompton is in.
Again, it's YouTube. Back to Pewdiepie.
If you ask me, I don't know. Trying to reach that someone might be a sociopath without having to met them, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Now, watching through this video, you realize Jake is 100% a sociopath. Shane is a sociopath. I'm a sociopath.
Now, see, that's where, now I know he's joking. I know PewDiePie is trying to be like you got a car and you got a car and you got a car kind of thing with Oprah Winfrey. But I know that he's joking, but there may be people saying like, oh, I might be a sociopath from this. So you get, now, then other people say, well, if you really believe that from just watching a video, then maybe you need help. Maybe not. See, it's a big world, and there's a lot of different people out there. So sometimes you may be perfectly fine, but then you're at a critical moment and you watch this video and it just, so that's why topics like this, I don't think should be used for entertainment purposes to a point. Talking about it is fine, but there's a reason why this is getting a lot of views and a lot of trending and all stuff. And it's not because, there's the entertainment value, the shock value, like, oh, we're finally getting to know about the Paul brothers and all this stuff. I wish I didn't even know that terminology. But there's other parts that see this as like, oh, I'm going to find out more about what a sociopath actually is, because there's probably a lot of people like, well, I've heard the word, but I don't really know what it is. And just reading a definition off of a textbook or a dictionary, even Katie's definition from her little booklet isn't all there is to it. That's, saying something that's a clinical diagnosis and a dictionary definition is not what some people need. Some people want to know what is about them that may be sociopathic. What is and what isn't? What can they work on? What can they do? What is something that they actually even need to work on? Maybe they don't need to work on. Maybe it's just something that they need to balance in their life. So it's too easy to say, okay, here's the definition of what a sociopath is. So you either fit in this or not. Like, with everything in this world, it's never that, as I'm going to say, as Logan says, it's not all black and white, and there's their range. But I don't want someone to watch a video and say, oh man, I must be this way because of these videos.
You're a sociopath. Everyone is a sociopath, because the definition of what a sociopath is was so incredibly vague that it fits anyone. For example,
They drive fast, probably.
They drive fast. Have you ever driven fast? Sociopath.
Things that harm the
Usually,
body. They don't
yeah.
care.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Tattoos.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. She's a licensed therapist. She's on his channel, and she's just kind of rolling along with this. I bet you if they were on Dr. Phil's show, he wouldn't roll along. Now, that's why I said on his show that he wouldn't roll along on this. Now, if he was on Shane's show, I don't know. I don't think he would. I think he may be a little more just not agreeing or disagreeing, not saying anything, just letting him talk and be like, well, I think this and I think that kind of thing. Because Dr. Phil's a little more stronger off camera, or not when he's not producing his stuff, than some others are.
So anyway, guys, I know these are just examples, but
Tattoos.
there were so many of them. My favorite is this one.
I gotta need a giraffe. Weird. This picture, that looks like two fucking straight up sociopaths planning their next move. Right. Oh, the caption. Let's go.
The caption. Is he joking? I don't understand. It was before their boxing fight. Like, he put a caption, let's go. He's a sociopath. They also had another one that was really good.
For instance, the other day I was in my car and I'm driving and there's this little lady that started to get into the crosswalk and I was like, honey, you got like 12 seconds. I hope people wait for you and like pay attention. You know, a sociopath would just be like, ugh. Like it wouldn't worry, there's no worry for her.
You ever...
Now, let's go back to that definition for a second. Personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behaviors. Maybe, maybe not. Just saying that every sociopath is going to do that? No. And I know this may sound like I'm putting more on Katie, but she's supposed to be a licensed therapist talking about these things, and she has a responsibility to not be so off the cuff on this. No matter what,
For me to know what.
no matter what being on. Now, get rid of that. Now, being on this channel, she knows what his material is, but she still needs to present her professional personality, because she's doing this on a public venue. People are going to be watching these videos, and they're going to be watching her videos. They may check her out, like I checked out her one video, and say, well, let me see if she's, because she's a therapist, let me watch her other videos and let me listen to her. So she's, even though she's doing this on his channel, she still has a responsibility to her audience and the people that may come into her channel. And for her to being so off the cuff on these things, that's not professional. Is it irresponsible? I would say so. But I don't know the full context of all these different videos. I'm not going to watch every single one of these videos. Now, is that fair to do a complete diagnostic on this? Because I haven't seen all of this. Well, there's a hiatus right now. They're saying this because they want to make sure that everything is correct and all such. Work on the content, whatever you want. But I have a problem when a licensed therapist goes on a dramatic channel and people are going to trust her word more than someone who's not a therapist or not a psychologist, just someone who talks, versus someone who's licensed, saying, well, because she's licensed, I have to listen to her because, and then being so non-professional and very off the cuff on this. I think a lot of people can get the wrong thing from this, and that's where I think this really is affected. See, like the 1 out of 25. Where does she get that number from? It could be a real statistic,
That was like one in
but
So Shane asked, how
that's not an
many
actual.
are sociopaths? And
It's not like it's going to be
it's
guaranteed.
1 in 25. Now, the source I could find for this was from author Martha Stout, who says that 1 in 25 Americans secretly has no conscience and can do anything at all without feeling guilty. called The Sociopath Next Door. Now, this is clearly put on the front of a book to sell more books.
Exactly.
It's on the cover to intrigue people to sell more because it sounds.
But it's not a
interesting.
fact,
Now,
it's not
what
a
I
law
found
or rule.
was that 3% of males and 1% of females have APD, anti-personality disorder, and this is mentioned in the video. But just because you have anti-personality disorder does not make you a sociopath. I understand what Shane is trying to do.
And that's where the danger comes in when you start roping all these terminologies together, thinking like, oh, I guess I'm all of this or none of this. Either I'm messed up and I'm all these things or not. Well, as you know, life isn't that clear cut. Life is not black and white. It's not. You could be one thing, you could be another thing, or it could be none of it, or it could be all, or it could be some of it. There's no defining matter. But when you just throw around words like sociopath or psychopath, people are going to clump in and say, well, I must be that. Well, no, you're not. But because you watch these channels, you may think you are. And that's where I feel that there's a big issue.
Is to draw more people in and make this more interesting. Painting this picture that anyone can be a sociopath, anyone can be, you never know, which makes it more interesting. I get it. But when you're talking about mental health, you kind of have to be more responsible. The video constantly uses this bizarre stock footage with this creepy background music.
Well, there's a bar right there. Like, if we walk into that bar, there's probably 100 people. So that means there's 4? Why isn't that it's like talking about?
Jesus! Is that a fake reaction to this? They didn't talk about it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is sad. Oh, this is sad. So, not saying he's a sociopath, but, like, that's something that a sociopath would do, right?
No, that does not necessarily mean a sociopath is going to do that. See, it's. I don't even have to listen to a reaction to know, but it's just when you're making a video. Let's move on.
If somebody didn't know like how to be emotional, they would just go to audio library and like literally click the emotions.
The emotion that they want people to feel.
Do they not know? Like, would they? Okay, the YouTuber's a sociopath and they're making an apology video.
I first want to apologize to my brother.
So they just type in sad and they pick one there.
So like they just like Google emotions and like put them in the video. You do the same thing. Everyone does this. If you need a sad song, you search for sad music.
That is absolutely true. If you're trying, whatever emotion that you're trying, that doesn't necessarily mean you don't feel that emotion. It's just whatever your emotion you're trying to portray. It's as I said, it's YouTube. If you want a video to be exciting, you're going to have exciting music. If you want something to be a little more serious, you put somber music. You could be completely happy with like, man, this is a really great video, a really great sad video. I'm going to throw all this sad music to it and wrap it up in these really authentic retro. It has nothing to do with how you feel. That's just editing a film. So, Shane, you're talking about something that it's you know full well that every YouTuber does it in a way. It doesn't attribute to someone's personality, or even if someone has a disorder now. You could have any disorder and still make a video about a certain feeling, and you may or may not even recognize that feeling. It doesn't matter. So why are you dramatizing this?
Music, so you can find the sad song. Just like in the sad part of your video, you added sad music.
Yeah.
So then it's like that person is never going to experience like, the joy of like having sex for the first time. Like, getting your first
Really?
car, going to a music. They don't like.
And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think adding creepy music while talking with a therapist about mental health is kind of a sociopathic thing as well. Now, Shane's response to this was...
Maybe not.
This was so people watching. Because if I made it like a standard video where I just sat there and was like, oh, interesting, they don't feel, okay, next topic, people would care. And
I disagree, but then...
I disagree as well, because it may not get as many views and many subscribers, and that's what you're trying to do. And why is Pewdiepie doing this? Same thing. He has full barrels going on against T-Series because he feels that T-Series. Well, I won't say what he's going to feel, but I think his personality is going to show that he cares about T-Series. He may not actually care. He may say like, oh, okay, T-Series is going to come along and it's going to surpass me, which it will. It's just a numbers thing. But then a week from now, it's going to get lost. It's just going to be another like music and film and all those others that are. Remember, PewDiePie is not #1 YouTuber. Music is. Now, is music a person? No. Big difference. He's the #1 personality, yes. But he's not the #1 biggest channel that has the most subscribers. So it's a moot point. He can still, he's capitalizing on this. I mean, he just made a T-Series diss track lately in this video. It actually sounds pretty, I mean, some of the verbiage and terminology is a little crude. Personally, I don't care one way or the other if something is crude or not. But for my audience, I'm trying to keep this mostly family friendly for the most part. I mean, there may be some little bit of loudness and a little bit of excitement, but I'm going to try to keep everything PG. But I want to talk about these things a little more personal. But they're all on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. I'm a little more realistic than most, I think. Now, I haven't seen every YouTuber. I'm not going to see every YouTuber. I wouldn't be able to do anything else if I did that. I spent a lot of time on Pokemon Go. I was actually supposed to play Pokemon Go today because I need to catch a Ralts. I know, sidetrack. Any of my friends that are watching this, that are nearby or want to trade Ralts, I'm trying to get 100% Ralts. Comment. But let's go on.
And again, I don't get 15 million views on my video. I just think it's something.
Maybe not. But if you look at all his views, he has nothing to complain about.
Topics, you either do them right or you just don't touch them. The video is.
Now I agree with that. You either do it right or you don't play around with these things.
Called The Dark Side of Jake Paul. People are gonna watch it regardless. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
It didn't even have anything to do with.
Very good description.
When it comes to this type of person, or when it comes to this disorder, you don't want to X, Y, Z. You even think about that? I mean, you don't.
The video uses clips of randomly of YouTubers while talking about this whole thing. You know, not just Jake Paul, but others as well.
And if you have to be kind of a sociopath to be a YouTuber.
Honestly, are you?
No. No. Don't lump everyone together, Shane. That I disagree with that 100%.
Are you a sociopath?
We all know David's a psychopath.
See, that right there. Using the word sociopath and psychopath right next to each other. Two completely different things. And actually, Logan mentioned this. Don't associate one with the other. If you call yourself a sociopath, if you call yourself a psychopath, they're two completely different things. If you go up to people and say, yeah, I guess I'm a psychopath, sociopath, don't. Sorry, Mike, you're good? Okay. That's where responsibility comes in. Don't ever tell someone that you can be either a sociopath and a psychopath. You can be both, you can be neither, it doesn't matter, but don't lump them all together. If you have any social culpability, now someone will say if they don't care about their audience and maybe they are sociopathic or have sociopathic tendencies, maybe not, and maybe that's the root of this. But I don't want someone that's watching any of these videos to say, oh, because of this and because of this clip here, like, oh, I must, even in a joking manner. But things kind of linger in people's minds even when you joke about it. Just nature of humanity. So I will say more than likely you are not a sociopath or a psychopath based on the clips you see here.
Exactly.
I'm also not a sociopath.
Or have some type of personality.
And not until 11 minutes and 30 seconds in the video you get this disclaimer. All clips shown on YouTubers, actors, and even myself are just being used for context. I'm 100% not insinuating that any people shown are sociopaths.
Exactly. If you're that far into a video and you have to put that disclaimer, you failed. Because you need to mention that at the very beginning, right after your very big splash, put this on there and then do it. Because someone could watch 10 minutes out of 11 minutes of video and just turn off like, well, that's it for me. And they're never going to read this.
Usually you add these at the beginning of the video.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't know. It just made me laugh out loud. Like after dragging all these YouTubers. By the way, guys, not insinuating anything. My favorite one, however, is this one.
They're mimicking. They are honing their craft, kind of. So if they're not very good at it, they won't elicit the right response out of people.
Her fans are not having it.
Because they
Once again, just a clip for context. It has nothing to do with what we're saying. We're not attacking this person. Just...
Now, remember what I said before. She's a licensed therapist talking about this on Shane's channel. So people are very critical of someone who actually has a license that talks about it. Even if someone puts a disclaimer, they may just say, well, they like Shane doesn't know, but she's a she's a clinical therapist, legal therapist. Maybe her word holds more weight. Listen to what she said, or more specifically, what she says and how she says it.
Just for context. Just for context. Just for context, clips as well as used with actual killers, actual murderers, like O.J. Simpson and...
Let me go back to that
I don't know
since
what
I said
this is,
that.
but...
You killing it.
Any people showed up anything. My favorite one, however, is this one.
They're mimicking. They are honing their craft, kind of. So if they're not very good at it, they won't elicit the right response out of it.
Her fans are not having it.
Because they
Once again, just a clip for context. It has nothing to do with what we're saying. We're not attacking this person. Just for context. Just for context. Just for context, clips as well as used with actual killers, actual murderers, like O.J. Simpson and I don't know who this is, but...
Will you kill again?
If the opportunity.
Now, this, he says actual murders of, being O.J. Simpson. There's no proof in that. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with the court case or anything like that. But, I mean, there's that whole thing where he's guilty or innocent, but you're just saying just a casual comment about that. You should really just avoid definitive statements like that, just so that you can cover yourself.
Opportunity arises, I hope so.
So it's kind of blurring the line between not just YouTubers, but also sociopath and killers as well. Just because you're a sociopath doesn't mean you're a killer or that you want to hurt people. And this is sort of
it's not even in a definition at all.
The therapist as well in the video talking about impulsivity and that can lead you to become more dangerous.
Which is what makes them a little dangerous. I always think impulsive is like a dangerous thing for both them and the people around them,
When a simple Google will tell you the opposite. While it's common to think sociopaths and psychopaths are inherently dangerous, this is more a construct of TV drama.
Exactly, TV drama.
Of the disorder. It is definitely possible, but it's not an inherent characteristic. And Shane is doing the same thing here, sort of overly dramatizing the topic for the sake of drawing people in.
So your only regret is that the torture didn't go on any longer.
Right, and I regret not killing my other victim.
The weirdest thing about the video is that the therapist, they're referring to really icky or really nasty or gross behavior.
I'm feeling sick.
It's really gross. It's just creepy.
I literally...
See, just that makes me cringe.
It's really gross, I know.
And her reaction, it's like you're listening a facial and emotional reaction to this. If you're going to be a therapist on a video, you detach yourself from the situation. You talk professionally, you talk courteously, and you don't make reactions like this.
Isn't that kind of weird for a therapist to do? I don't know. I understand not liking it. I don't either. But for a therapist to describe a mental disorder as really icky, really gross, I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. Now, the cherry on the top, after this video, has described everyone as a sociopath. Basically, anyone falls under this category. It's also sponsored by BetterHelp.
Today's episode is brought to you by... This is really think is great.
Remember what I said before about YouTube.
You're a sociopath. By the way, this video is sponsored by Online Therapy. Also, this video, enter the coupon code Shane for your online therapy today. By the way, guys, everyone is a sociopath. Enter the code Shane for your cheaper online therapy today. Now, this is one of those online therapy apps. They've been becoming more and more popular. A lot of people have said they work great for them, but they also get a lot of bad
just like I mentioned in the beginning video about the Discord I'm part of, it's a great avenue to talk about your problems, to share yourself. But if you actually have issues, or you think you have issues, talk to an offline licensed therapist and a psychologist, and talk to people you trust. And I know that there are certain circumstances where even the people that you trust or that you think you trust may give you wrong information. I feel sorry and I feel bad that not everyone has your best interests out there. But just know that even though there might be one that may lead you down the wrong road, there are plenty of people that will want you to be better, that want you to lead you to the correct path. You just have to find the right person. When it comes to like finding therapists and psychologists, ask others. Just don't ask the therapist and psychologist. Ask others, psychologists and therapists, and see what their perception of that person is. Because maybe that person is not a legal psychologist. They've been known to people to fake credentials to pretend to be psychologists and therapists when they actually aren't. They're not legal. Now, I'm not saying about anything in any of these videos, but there could be people that are passing off like this, pretending to be, but they aren't actually, and they could lead you down some dark paths. So that's where social media and social ability and social consciences actually helps. If you want to share something, ask around. It's like purchasing a car. You're just not going to trust one person to buy a car from. You're going to ask all these different people about that car and about the salesman and about the situation, and see if that person's reputable and if they've had any bad experiences on this. And then, because if you ask another car dealer about another dealer, they're going to give you an honest answer because they're competitors. They're going to not sugarcoat at all unless they have some wheeling deal. That's why you ask a lot of people. Because if you ask 10 people about a person, they all say the same thing. Statistically, there's more weight to that than just asking the one person. And that's what I'm getting at. We don't know any of these people except from what we see. But if you ask a lot of people who know them inside and outside of like YouTube, then you get a bigger insight on this. And that's where it comes down to. If you really want to open up to someone and trust someone, ask people around them if they've had good experiences with this person, if they had good results in a physical, mental, emotional, whichever way. Because unfortunately there are some bad apples out there that unfortunately get into this for whatever reason they do.
Reviews saying that they don't work at all. And if they work for you, great, but it's kind of questionable to promote one of these services.
An app is not going to solve the issue. It may help you, but it's not going to solve the issue.
I did, I think, a year ago, and they asked me to talk about it, and I'm like, okay, fine. But I would never want to take money from it. I would never want to take money for a mental health app. It just doesn't feel right.
And that is where this all boils down to. Money. YouTube. Physical therapy, reviews, subscribers. There was a question, why would Jake Paul do this? Why would Logan Paul do this? Why would Alyssa do this? Why would Greg Paul do this? Why would Pewdiepie do this? Why would Katie do this? Why does anybody and everything in these videos? They're all on YouTube. They're all trying to get revenue from views, view hours, and subscribers. If they actually want to talk to a psychologist, they do it off camera. Why do anything on camera? Because you're trying to elicit a response from your audience. You're trying to pull people away to get subscribers and views. You're trying to make money off of this. And that's where the root of this is an issue, at least for me. I'm not monetized. I don't care if I make money on this or not. I'm just talking about this because I felt like, personally, I feel responsible that this is more of a more serious issue than anything monetarily related. And I do not like seeing people benefiting financially from other people's suffering and other people's hurt, whatever the case may be. I mean, if it's something like that's why I think a lot of this Jake Paul boils down to Alyssa. And I don't think they're going to watch this video. Maybe by chance they do. If so, Jake and Alyssa, I know I could tell that there's something real that happened beyond all this other stuff. Something real happened. Spend some time away from YouTube. Turn off all social media and just talk it out, whatever it is that you need to talk out. Not in front of cameras, not in front of anybody. And just get it settled. Because you know, with all these people looking at Shane and looking at all these videos, that they're going to keep on drilling this and drilling this and drilling this, and it's going to hurt somebody really bad. And of course, most people are going to be like, "Oh, I didn't do it. I'm not responsible," when they are. But with things being as they are, you know, who's to say? Alyssa, I would say, you don't know me for anything, but you don't need to be part of this. In fact, you can do your own thing and probably be very successful and not have to be associated with this stuff at anything. Just everyone take responsibility of your own mental health, and don't let anything influence you when it comes to videos or anything.
And I'm probably the most morally skewed person ever. So for me to come up with that conclusion and not Shane, it's kind of weird. Now, after all this, there was a bit of backlash. I mean, it has 1 million likes and 30,000 dislikes. That's hardly anything. I think most people just enjoy the video, and I think that's fine. But Shane did make an apology where he said, "I'm sorry if I offended anyone." Oh, no.
Now, see, that's not taking responsibility. That's just saying, "Oh, my bad if you're getting hurt from this." That's why people really need to be careful of talking about, you know, disorders like this. Just saying something and saying, "Oh, that's my bad," you know, you need more than that.
Oh, no. Shane, this is not it, okay? I'm sorry if I offended anyone said in lengthy Snapchat. Shane, if you need help with apology videos, just reach out. I'm really good at them. This is a big no-no. I'm sorry you were offended. I know he doesn't mean it like that. It's just...
Oh, man, when people say, "I'm sorry that you're offended," "I'm sorry that you feel this way," or "I'm sorry that you feel," that's such verbal salad, just annoys me to no end, because that's not even taking blame. That's saying, "Well, you know, I'm not going to take blame for this, but man, it sucks to be you," which is what they're saying. And that's such a backhanded insult. If anyone comes up to me, I'm like, "Dude, just get in my face." Because if they're going to talk like that, you're never going to be able to talk straight to them.
Badly worded. The therapist made a response as well.
Hey everybody, I find myself getting bullied in comments, and I know I've...
Okay, you're a therapist, and you come out saying, "I'm feeling bullied by my comments." People are using the word bullied like it's candy. It's an easy out. "Oh man, people are disagreeing with me, I'm a bully," or "You're a bully." Is that really what's going on? There are plenty of bullies out there. And the reason why I'm off-cuffing this, because there's a lot of people with a lot of serious issues with bullies that really need people to trust to, or need trust in talking about this. If I talk to people about bullies and just trying to help people out with them, again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I'm just someone that's willing to listen and talk. And to have a licensed therapist just being off the cuff about, like, "I'm being bullied." Yeah, you're a professional therapist. One, probably not getting bullied, but I'm not going to assume that you are or not. But just... Now, of course, I don't know the context behind this, but she made a video about this, so... No.
Open myself to a whole nother group of people, and that's fine, and I'm an adult, and like, if I have to block you, that's what I'm gonna do, because I don't have to allow you to hang out in my pool.
Great.
That's fine. But just do it. If you're talking about it and you're dramatizing it, I'm not gonna believe what you're gonna say.
Great response. These are great responses, guys. Please come to me, all right? If you need help with apology, I'll set you up.
Also trying to draw attention to himself.
You're making it worse.
5 hours of footage, so I really cut it down.
Cut it down. Who's that comedian? Cut it out.
Just left it very plain. I wanted to make it entertaining, but at the core of it, what I wanted people to know is, like, an actual sociopath does
okay to dehumanize?
Now, that's not true. An actual sociopath. Back to the original definition. Does it say anywhere in this definition, a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior? Does it say anything in there about someone not caring? Absolutely not. Now I gotta find my spot.
I know he doesn't mean it like that. It's just badly worded. The therapist made a response.
Group of people.
Nice. Please just come to me if you need help with the police. I'll set you up. This ain't it. This ain't it. You're making it worse. It's okay to dehumanize someone just because they don't care.
And what's an actual sociopath versus what? I'm not actual sociopath? Bad wording.
I think Shane made a mistake starting off this series as is Jake Paul a sociopath? It's either a yes or no. And you know, maybe to kind of put down something that we don't know about. A lot more emphasis going into this series to remain on this case. I don't know if Jake is a sociopath. I can't vouch. But a lot of these topics are gray areas. I
Okay, I'm gonna move the videos around because I keep on looking a certain way and I know it's distracting.
and that's not the case. And funny enough, Logan reached out and made a video talking about just this, starting off with the classic Lasai. How to start a heavy topic. You gotta say it out.
99% of the time, someone is not a sociopath or not a sociopath.
Dude, what's with this friend?
A sociopathic spectrum, at which point some people lie higher on it than others. And by the way, some of the biggest businessmen in the world could be considered sociopathic. Mark Jobs, Steve Zuckerberg.
And Logan actually makes a lot of sense here. How about that? Never thought I'd say that. Then again, he also did say,
Original point what I'm trying to say is shame.
Paul, everybody.
Just
Logan Paul.
dramatization.
The least self-aware human being on the planet. Shane Dawson, how dare you scare these children? Now, Logan, for the 100th time, so many people told me before the famous Forest video, oh, Logan, he's like the cool one of the fools. He's like the nice one, the less crazy one. And I always said, no, that ain't it. He's a real crazy one. But then the Forest video came out, and I'm like, told you! I freaking told you! I was even quick to point out, like, Logan Paul is a sociopath. Because if you look at YouTube,
Again, they're still using the word in the wrong context. They all are, and that's just ridiculous.
it's a shame because it's such an interesting topic. This whole thing is an interesting topic, and now it's just gotten completely mixed up. I think the line between YouTubers and sociopath is really interesting because if you look at YouTube, it sort of rewards sociopathic behavior, and I think that's why.
Now, in a way, it actually does. Not in the way that he's thinking, but because you're because you can't deal with social context and social behaviors, it's easier to perform in front of a camera or to deal with situations in front of a camera versus a person. So in a way, YouTube does bring out people that have different type of social various disorders because it's a lot easier media to work with when I'm just dealing with a camera, this little box here, and a microphone that's my buddy here, in this pop filter and computers and such. Now, I have been in crowded rooms. I have given speeches in front of hundreds and thousands of people. Was I scared? Sure. Anyone that says they're not, they're lying. Did I do it? Yeah. Did I do it well? Yeah. I mean, I did it was like a, what was it, a dissertation on, is like for computer related. I had slides, I had a video, I had a presentation, and after the first 5 minutes I started getting into it, and it just rolled. I've had to go to a party where I only knew one single person and I had to socialize, and it's a tough thing. Am I an extrovert? Am I the life of the party? I've been there a couple of times, but I don't know if I'm an exact extrovert. But YouTube definitely, I mean, you've seen that video with Jake Paul and where he's being interviewed, like an actual interview, or with Pewdiepie or any of these guys. They're in a nice suit, they're a lot more personable, they're a lot quieter, they're just kind of sitting there like nodding their head, and they have an awkward handshake, and they're not like they are in front of camera. It's easy to be social in front of camera. When we're dealing with other people, you're not as vocal. Look at the majority of actors that are out there. That's the thing, YouTubers are actors. An actor's not going to be all vocal, like, hey, buddy, what's going on? Hey, with 100 people there. I mean, some may actually be able to do that. But I would say statistically, a good percentage of people are not like that there are on YouTube.
It's so easy for me, for example, to spot it in other YouTubers, while for a lot of other people who are not aware of it, it will just go unnoticed. For example, you understand as a YouTuber what kind of thought process went through a person's mind or a YouTuber's mind when they made a thumbnail.
Yeah.
What they want to present in it.
I've learned that real quick.
People to know, or how they present a message and a topic, how they present
ads,
what tone, and like I said, with the music or whatever. Most people don't think about these things, but as a YouTuber, you realize and you think and you understand what went through their head to make it.
Here, I'm just gonna, because
I know it sounds stupid, but I'm making it easier for you to understand, because the way a sociopath was described in part 2 of the series, quite honestly, could be applied.
Here, I'll just put that out there because his face is just kind of, I don't want to be like, man, what is he doing with Logan Paul?
Going to the business.
About Team 10, right? This video is about Team 10, right?
So Team 10 is the company.
Now, I'll have to say on the sidebar, what's interesting is that all the revenue goes into Team 10, but Jake Paul has 20% of it. That's actually a pretty good business strategy, because even if it doesn't make as much, he's still getting cut of everything. So I'll just put, what's a good picture to put on here? Yeah, sure, why not? It looks like he's looking at the definition over here and thinking otherwise. Alright, back to Pewdiepie.
And you realize, wow, they're actually kind of messed up. And YouTube, in a way, rewards these things. You don't get more views for having integrity. That's for sure. And I think that's the thing with Jake and Logan. They just don't care. They're just extremely goal-oriented and motivated to become popular on YouTube and earn money. That's what they want. They're not trying to hide that. It's pretty obvious. They'll do whatever they can to get that. Does that mean they're sociopaths? I don't know. Maybe. But it certainly 100% makes them scumbags. Maybe they have some other personality behind the scenes. Maybe they're actually a really cool person.
Now remember, he's also making a video on YouTube, so entertainment.
Does it really matter? You wouldn't go to a killer and be like, well, maybe he's actually like a really nice person. That's a bad example.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I think what went wrong with this whole video, the whole Shane video, and why I think it's so bad is because apparently Shane didn't tell Katie, I think that's her name, the therapist, that this was about Jake Paul.
Katie Morton.
Well, I'll explain later what this all is.
Okay, now to reflect back on PewDiePie's sentence about not telling her about Jake Paul, that's fine if he didn't do that, but she would know what Shane Dawson does, what type of videos he does, and maybe it may not be specifically known that he's interviewing someone about something, but she knows that he does like a lot of dramatic. I just won't go into like controversy. Just very dramatic videos that are they're geared to entertain and not be anything. Now there might be some factual things, and she would probably know that he does a lot of fact digging, dramatic videos, a lot of edits, a lot of music, and very themed content videos. So that's what she would know coming in. So she would know some things. It may not necessarily be about who it was, but she would know that he would be doing that. There's a reason why he's asking a question, and she could probably infer from him asking a particular question that this might be about someone that he wants to do a video on. That's a statistical guess without knowing any names. So she should be able to know as a therapist, like, okay, he's asking about sociopaths, so there might be someone that he wants to talk about. So I should take this responsible and professionally, and not give any off-the-cuff advice on this. I don't know who it is, but I need to be a little more careful with what I say, which...
There's a lot more to it than...
Yikes. Apparently, Shane, I think you mentioned in the video that he didn't tell her that originally that this was going to be about Jake Paul. They were just
Would it matter?
talk about Sociopath. And, you know, she's referring a lot of times in this video about anti-personality disorder, but through...
That's not the same thing.
And all that, it kind of conflicts and it becomes anything. It gets mixed up with killers and all kinds of stuff.
And that's absolutely
I don't know
wrong.
if that's necessarily her fault as well. And I understand Shane wants to make things creepy. That's what he does. He makes these conspiracy videos. That's how he keeps things interesting, and I can understand that, and I can respect that. He does a great job of that. And I also think Katie took off her therapist hat to sort of drop these numbers and facts. Just
And that's where the problem lies. Take off the therapist hat.
How Neil deGrasse Tyson drops these science bombs to blow your mind. It's the same kind of thing, and maybe it wasn't deliberate, but these two things playing into each other just made it into, in my opinion, a really bad video. Unfortunately, some topics you just have to be more careful when you cover them, and maybe not add in creepy music and all these stupid things in the background. I think they realize that now. That's it, however, for my 8-part series about Shane Dawson. Hope you guys are looking forward to this. Actually, I might make it a 20-part series. I think we can really uncover some deeper, darker secrets in here. Smash like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. Are you just jealous because Shane gets more views than you? Yeah.
And that's the crux of this thing. I think I deconstructed this thing pretty solidly. It all boils down to dramatization, but talking about specific topics like sociopathic and psychopathic, there's other things to talk about to make content on, and I'm not going to tell you one thing to do or not to do a thing, but just remember that you are socially responsible for the content that you produce on YouTube. And even if there may not be some legal bias behind it, just consider if you can live with a thing. If you can live with what you're saying can negatively influence someone to do something. And you may or may not know about it, but you may have in the back of your mind, like, man, maybe this person did this because I said this. You always have to have this on your conscience. Can you live with that? You may say, oh yeah, sure, I can do that. But 5 years from now, take it from someone that's had made some decisions in his life and has lived with things, and it's still lived with those things, and will always be in the back of my mind of certain decisions. It's not as easy as you think. And I don't care how old you are or how young you are or how much money or low money, it has nothing to do with any of that. And you will all quickly realize, as soon as you turn off the camera, as soon as you've collected that paycheck, and and you still have things lingering in your mind. But don't come back to me and say, oh man, you were right, because I'm saying right here, while you still have a chance, make proper decisions on what you want to do with the time that you're here. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you everyone for watching this. I may have some soft music in the background for this, but I'm not going to do anything flashy. I'm still got my intro and outro, but I'm trying to make this more about the content and not dramatize this any more than it's necessary, because I think this is a serious topic. It needs to be dealt seriously, and not on YouTube. But unfortunately, as the proverbial saying goes, the cat's out of the bag. It is what it is. So hopefully, and for those that are on my Discord that have subbed to me, you can always talk to me, chat with me. Hopefully this didn't trigger too many issues with you, but if so, just leave me a comment or just talk to me about this. And I'll try to talk through my reasons for doing this, and I hope you didn't feel bad about this, but I think this is something that needs to be talked about because people are being too comfortable about titling people that may not be necessarily right. Anyways, everyone that's out there watching this and that will watch this, have a beautiful, wonderful day, evening, and afternoon. And please enjoy the time that you have in this world. And hopefully you get something positive out of this. Maybe something comforting. I hope so. Anyways, take care. Reach out to me, and if you're new, please subscribe. I'm also on YouTube, and I'm trying to grow as like everyone else. I'm not nowhere near the size of these guys. I mean, these guys are like giants when it comes to YouTube, but hopefully I can get high enough that I can. Because one thing I would like to do, and the reason why I would do this is both for dramatic reasons, but also for an open forum, is to interview these guys all in the same room. I'm talking about, I'll just mention their YouTube names: Pewdiepie, Shane, Jake, Logan, sure, throw in Katie, and anyone else that's involved in this. Just ask them some questions about what they actually feel about each other, and actually have an open dialogue about this. It may be a good thing, it may not necessarily be a good thing, but I'll guarantee that if I were to film that, it would not be dramatized, it would not be special effects, it would be like this content where I'm just going to show the video and talk about it. That's all there's going to be. If all you guys are somehow watching this video, just leave me a comment and let's make it happen. You don't know me for beans, but maybe that's a good thing, because there's no context, there's no background, there's no this guy has any beef with me or not. He's completely independent of all this, so that might be a good resource. Would it help me out? Of course. Would it help you out? Maybe. Maybe more than you think. Anyways, catch you guys later and take care.